Here?
Yeah, if you could just go on the Excel and run it.
Okay, so just to see that it runs and does what I wanted, I go to a different sheet, which is empty over here, and I run this.
Yes, that's my question, because it keeps, it doesn't have to be active cell dot select.
Okay, active cell offset, 0 and -2. -2 is going down 2 columns. I cannot go down 2 columns over here because I go out of the range.
Right.
Okay, so we said that when we talked about relative references, that you need to make sure that you never go out the borders of the worksheet. If I run it from over here, okay, so I stop my previous running and I start running it again, and now I get it, and since it's a relative, then I don't get it over here in the same sense that I did it originally, but relative to where I stood when I started running it, it goes -2 and then gives me the whole thing. But here you get the whole code running.
And if we wanted it to just come up in the cell that we clicked, then we just take off the offset 0, -2, and just keep it as active cell dot select. And then wherever we select.
No, you would have recorded it from the beginning, because the whole thing over here, through all these commands, is offset. If you wanted it to appear in specific cells, you would have recorded it without the relative reference pressed.
So why don't we want it to go -2 columns to the left?
It just happened to be that I was on column C when I started to record it, and I went to A, so it's 2 columns left. Okay? Change the font color of cell A2 to red. Okay? So this is showing you how you get it with recording. But we can do it much more simple by writing range. A2.
Well, would this be a problem since we use relative reference?
Dot font dot color. Okay, so once I write the dot, all of these appear, and if I start writing it, I can choose font dot color as such. Okay, and what do you want? What do you want it to be?
VB red.
Equals VB red. So let's just copy this. Okay, so this is the way we would do it without recording, just rewind. Okay, now let's run this. How come nothing happened?
Relative.
What?
You have nothing in A2 and use relative references.
Okay, no, over here I didn't use relative reference. Range
No, I'm
A2
saying
is
in
not
your
relative.
initial recording of the number.
Okay, but it did. If I write over here something, it would appear with red.
There was just no text
Okay,
in that space.
there was no text or any content in A2, so we didn't see that it actually did it. But it actually did change the font color in A2. We could see it only when there's something there, okay? But it worked.
So if you
Next.
just plug in
And
G.
change the background color of cell B3 to green. Okay, so let's take this. Over here. And now we want it to be what? B3. And dot interior dot color equals VB green.
What is VB?
Okay, now once it VB, since it realizes or recognizes that this is a meaningful word in VBA, it capitalizes the G automatically. And if I run this now and I go to the active sheet, you see that the interior is colored green. Okay? So this is using objects. Again, the objects are already defined. They have properties, they have methods. We only need to know the correct syntax to use these objects and do whatever we want to do with them. Questions?
Yeah, what was the whole first macro that you just did here? You started off by doing the whole macro.
Recording the macro.
You
Okay,
did
what's
that.
the question?
Could you show us how you did that?
How I recorded the macro?
No,
I did it in front of your eyes a few minutes ago. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Never mind.
Let's play it.
Question?
Yeah.
Didn't mine without the recording a macro and just writing it in the VBA? It does the same thing, but works very differently.
Again, what?
I didn't record a macro, I just wrote it into VBA. It looks like a lot more concise.
Right. That's exactly what I said. When you write it yourself, you don't have the width with all of the default properties and the specific one you wrote, but you have just what you want to do. It looks much more,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
Pleasing to the eye.
Okay, one more thing, the last thing over here is the object browser. Okay, so if I go over here, I have this icon over here is an object browser. Okay, I can press this, and if you, at the beginning, asked me how do I find the right, he's again talking when I'm saying, okay, trying to answer his question every time. So you can do it through here, and for instance, I want to find a comment. Okay, so I write over here, in here, comment, how to add a comment to a cell, and okay, so I did it before, but, whatever. If I want to change color of something, I can write color and add color scale or look for a specific object and see what.
What does clicking on these things do?
It helps you find the right properties or the right. It's like a help. Okay? It gives you all the objects that are in Excel. If I
I don't
write
understand
over
a word
here,
that's written over here.
Didn't have to.
comment. I want to add a comment. Okay? So I can find over here the add comment method, and it's a member of range. Okay? So if I want to add a comment to a cell, set as a range, I just could use this in order to find the
So can
exact.
what happens when you click on it?
Nothing. You just now you can go over here.
We type that comment.
Now you can go back to your
It's not an
module.
action, it's just telling you what to do.
Yeah, it's like instead of going to Google, you can go do it within the
Okay, fine.
and find the relative command that you're looking for. Questions up till now?
Can you explain again anything on the comment, please?
What?
Can you explain again on the comment? We just said about the
The
comment.
object browser allows me to find what is the right command to do specific things. For instance, if I want to add a comment, I can go to the browser. I see this is the, I can find by writing over here comment. This is the action that I'm looking for, add comment, okay? And now I can go back to my module and say, for instance, for range A2, doesn't work. Oh.
Here, read that comment. And then space. Do you need brackets or can you put it in parentheses?
I love the full merge.
Okay, now if I run this, when I go over here, I have a comment. Okay, and I found how to add a comment by going to the browser and looking comment and finding the right syntax.
Alright, and what's the sub save? The last part, 2 parts, number 4 and 5.
Saves the workbook. Okay?
You need
Now,
to write code.
if you don't know the code for saving, you could go to the object browser and find save, or what's the other way that we learned how to do it?
Control
S.
Just record a macro, okay?
and save.
And in the recording, save the file, and you'll get the right line. Okay, so I don't know how to save a file. I do record macro. I give it I do
Just active workbook dot save. That's all it is.
save desktop save and I stop recording.
You're just showing us how to save it now?
I'm showing you how to find how to save it.
Just take that all.
Oh, I did save as. Okay, active workbook, save as, and here it gave me the whole path because I didn't save it before. If I would have saved it and just do save, it would have given me. And again, we can go over here. And here we get a list of not very helpful, huh?
Would it have it written in the code though?
Well,
How, now that you did the macro, then part of it, the macro was to save it. Wouldn't that be written in the code though?
it is, but I did a save as, and it was a new saving, so it had to write the whole path. Okay, once you save it once, and you just save, like here. If I record now a macro. And I just fire save. Active workbook.save. That's all I need to do. I can take this, put it into my macro, and now when I run this, it will save it. Okay? Questions?
Where's it gonna save it to?
Right.
How much you said it saved as? So you had to save it once first.
No, I just click save as.
If you want to specify the whole, if you do active workbook.save and it wasn't saved before, it would open the window, it should open the window where you need to choose where you want to save it. Okay? I think we'll take the 10-minute break now.
Mhm.
That's a great idea.